We gon' tip out of the moon. We gon' tip out of the moon. Can you hear us so? Bottles thumping on the floor. Everybody, here we go. Everybody, here we go. Here we landed, say hello. Everybody, here we go. If I stop drinking McQueen, put me on front page of Vogue.
Hi everybody, it's Miss Vixen from the Vixen Experience with beautiful Diana Long.
Hi, Diosa Nails and Polish.
So we're here today in beautiful Brooklyn, and we're here to talk about your beautiful business.
Thank you very much.
I personally am a huge fan. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I was doing my office mani, which I'm sad to not be able to do now because I'm happy to have a job. But tell us about Diosa Nails.
So Diosa Nails and Polish, everything is made in the U.S., so that was important to the core principles of the brand. And it caters to women in their 20s and 30s who, what I call, are transitioning women. So women going from college to getting settled in their careers, to even being settled in their careers and becoming mothers. So that age demographic, I started to notice people kind of tend to forget about themselves a little bit. So the idea behind Diosa is rich formula so that you can quickly spend 20 minutes out of your week, not even your day, painting your nails, and you enjoy some you time and you really take care of yourself and not get lost.
I know I enjoyed it. So how did you start this? Like, where did the idea come from? What about it? What about nail polish do you enjoy that made you want to actually do an entire company based on nail
Okay.
polish?
So originally I wanted to do a nail salon. I came in one day from work and I was satisfied but a little discontent with my year-end review, and I said, screw this, like I don't want to die in a great cubicle, it's not what I want to do. So what I did was I started thinking about, well, what it is that what do I want to do? So I thought nail salon. The idea came to me as I was painting my nails, and it was a completely self-branded nail salon. And I did the whole entire business plan, and then I realized, you know what, I don't have $100,000 kind of just laying around. So that wasn't going to stop me, and I looked and I read the business plan over, and I took a slice of the plan. I was like, this is something I can do, this is something that I can fund. So I'm going to try it, I'm going to do it. And that's how it started. I did my research, and I was confident, and all I had to do was, press the go button.
Right.
It took me a few weeks to do that, but I finally did it, and it's been fun ever since.
So what's your professional background? Like, what do you have professional experience in?
So by trade, I am an information technology business systems analyst and test lead. It's a little fancy. So I work in the financial services industry specifically. So I test software to make sure it doesn't have any defects. I do some project management, as well as the other part of my job I can't really explain, but it's a lot of business development, visioning, and turning business speak into IT speak.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you've learned along the way that you wish you knew when you started?
Okay, I wish I would have researched a little bit more of the skills that I didn't have in order to make the business successful. Like social media, it completely took me by surprise. I didn't realize how much time and effort I had to put into it. I didn't realize, you treat Instagram differently than you treat Facebook, different than Twitter. So I wasn't equipped on that end. Secondly, I wish I would have put together my list of network a little bit better, because I think it would have helped move things along. And budgeting wise, I knew the basics. And finally, just bookkeeping, the accounting, that business side of things, which I had no clue.
So where do you see Diosa going in the next 5 years? Like, what's your 5-year plan?
5-year plan hopefully is to have that nail salon open. If not, hopefully.
And how long have you been functioning as Diosa?
Okay.
How long have you been established?
So Diosa has been established for a year this month. and honestly, it's gotten way better than I ever thought it was gonna be. Not that I thought I was gonna fail, but just the response has been great.
Right.
And then in 5 years, I do hope to have that nail salon open, leave my 9-to-5 corporate job, hopefully, and
Speak it into existence.
yes, and then go into like the mobile nail salon business. or maybe
Okay.
flip, go into mobile, and then have a brick.
Okay, so when you mean mobile, do you mean the way you do the D-Day? Like, tell everybody what D-Day is.
Okay, so D-Day is really the first step into doing that nail salon. So D-Day is the Diosa pop-up shop. So we appear in like restaurants or lounges or blocks around the city, and it's basically an avenue for nail artists who don't necessarily work at nail salons, or who do work at nail salons and don't get the opportunity to be creative. And all of the fans of nail art know where they are once a month. You come, you get your nails done, and you get complimentary drinks, food, music, and just overall good people. So there's a lot of good networking that goes on.
It's a nice feeling. So it's got a nice environment to it. You don't
Right.
feel you easily make friends because you're
Yes.
obviously it's not like a mixer, but it
just
just
kinda turns out
into a mixer because
Right.
you're all interested in the same thing and you all just left work and it's kind of like,
Like, what are you doing?
Like,
Right, exactly. And that's the feel that I wanted to create in the nail salon, where I
Right.
thought, honestly, after people got their nails done at DJ, they were going to leave. But they kind of just hang out. Because
Yeah.
they like being there. They like the vibe, which is the feeling I'm going for the
Right.
future Diosa Nails salon. So it's a place you want to be, not somewhere where you're kind of like, oh, hurry up, get my nails done.
Right.
Let me leave. So,
Okay, so that I guess would turn into the mobile.
yes.
version of that.
Right. So new mothers, for example, don't have time to really go to the nail salon because they're still trying to figure things out.
Plus, it's an inconvenience. Like,
Exactly. So why not
I love
have
kids.
somebody
I
come
just
to your
don't
house?
want your kid
Right.
running over me.
Especially not in the nail salon. So it's like, why not have somebody come out to your house and do your nails? You know, or like a nail party if you have girlfriends over, have somebody come over, have some champagne or whatever, and get your nails done. Or if you're at work, women in the office, take your lunch hour and have somebody come.
Oh, that'd be really cute.
So that's what the mobile aspect is. And maybe even like a traveling manicure bus where we do like a little city tour with the nail artist.
I'm getting excited about it. Okay, so I will say that I personally love Diosa Nails.
Thank you.
Again, I actually like it because I was listening to Painting My Nails at my desk. So I don't have 30 minutes to sit and make sure I've got, 4 perfect coats on my nails.
Right.
Then you gotta wait for the first one to dry, and then you gotta put one coat, some of them 2, like puff pastry.
Yeah.
I like it a little darker, so I'll do like maybe 2, or depending on how I'm feeling, I'll do puff pastry is like a really like a French manicure kind of thing.
Right.
But you can do one coat and have a clean, like full base
Yes.
of polish, and it doesn't smell.
It
That's
doesn't.
the kicker. Because I'm doing it at my desk, you don't need everybody
All that
to
nail
know
polish.
that I'm doing my nails at my desk. The worst it smells is when I pull out like the OPI top coat. And then
Right,
it's just
right,
like,
right.
let's do this real
It's
quick.
quick dry.
And then all of a sudden, wait, what are you talking about? My nails
Right.
have been this color all day.
And that was part of the trick, was to try to get it, as I'm working with my manufacturing partners, I really needed to reduce that smell. And sometimes it gets a little tricky because I also learned a lot about the chemistry of nail polish, pigmented, jellies versus what makes it opaque. Well, if you want it opaque, you kind of have to have that smell a little bit. It's like, well, no, I don't want the smell. So that was part of the trick. So I try to get as many of the
Okay.
low fragrance as possible.
So what type of options do you have now available in your line?
Okay, so I started off with 10 colors, and again through research, I originally was only going to do 5, but then last minute I made a business decision and ended up being 10. So I have 5. Thank you. 5 very bold colors, which is called D-Day, and then 5 subtle colors that are still not common, but they're not as loud and as bold as D-Day, and that was subtly sassy. So I got a little bit of feedback from the fans, and they wanted a little bit more texture and options. So now I have 2 foils, which is a pink foil, it's like a pink silverish foil, and a burgundy foil. And then I try not to do anything that's too common. So like my new black is called Street Dreams. It has a bit of shimmer in it. So when you put it in the light, it kind of like dances. It's a fun polish. And then I have one that's like back to basics collection. So it's red, black, white, gold. And that one, as I was going through the business developing, sometimes I had to remind myself, just get back to basics.
Okay.
Communication, building relationships, and formula, etc. So that's dedicated to that one. And then the fall collection, it's a green, a nude, a dark navy blue, and the floral pink. That one, I haven't named that collection. I don't know.
We'll go there.
So we
It'll
have,
be okay.
right, and then I have a matte top coat and a base coat.
Yes.
People were expecting
Which I
me.
like.
Yeah, people were expecting me to do a top coat, but back to basics, right? You need to make sure that the base and the foundation of your polish is going well, protect your nails, and then you build from there. So a total 24 options at this point.
Nice options in that.
Thank you.
So, in the course of business, in the course of life, what's one rule that you won't break? Just small thing.
So in the course of business, one rule that I will not break is everything made in the U.S. So when I was building the nail polish brand, I really wanted to support the U.S. economy. And it sounds funny because I'm such a small, company. I might only be paying $200 in taxes, or who knows, But it's just a small way to contribute and at least supporting U.S.-based businesses. So that's one rule I absolutely will not break. If it costs me extra, or it turns out that's something I wanted to do, I just can't get done in the U.S. It's just not going to get done.
Okay.
Something in life that I won't break is just be true to myself. When you're a small business owner, your brand is really you. You are the face of the brand, so you have to really be the brand. So I'm not going to act like, I'm something that I'm not just for the sake of selling and appearing to people. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not cool, right? So that's
it happens on occasion.
Right. So I'm gonna be true to myself. I am a professional overall. I consider myself I'm a grown ass woman, but sometimes I like to have fun, and so that's really what I try to bring out of the brand. I'm not gonna appear to be goth or whatnot.
Right.
I'm not gonna appear to be from the streets where I am, but that's just not who I am. So just in life, just be true to yourself, because I think that's what's contributed to my success so far, to my wins at least.
What's something that you can impart to the young entrepreneurs who are seeing your success and seeing your growth and development with Diosa? What can you say to them that would keep them going, or something that from your experience that they may not know due to their inexperience?
Right. The number one thing is that owning your own business is a lifestyle. It's not something that you do on the side. It's not something that kind of just happens. It is a lifestyle. You have to live it. You have to breathe it. Every decision you make will affect the success of your business. So if you decide to buy, those $500 pair of shoes, that could have been money that could have been invested towards your business. If you decide to not get work done for a week, well, guess what? Somebody else is getting their work done that week. So you really have to live and breathe it. And something that I learned is also represent yourself. So when people ask you, well, what do you do? Then you might have that 9 to 5, but promote yourself. Like I own my own nail polish company, and the questions come from there. It's like, well, is that what you really do? And then you can explain it, right? So you have to live it, breathe it, and represent yourself in every way.
So, what's something that makes Diosa different than other polishes? Like, why would I buy Diosa? I mean, I know why I buy Diosa, but for someone that is just randomly looking for polish, why would someone want to select Diosa versus Essie or OPI or any of the other amazing nail polish brands that are out there?
Okay, so the number one thing I tell people is Diosa is not just about the nail polish. It's about the women who wear the nail polish. So, what do they do? When you take pictures of your nails, it's like, well, who do those hands belong to? What does she look like? Is she old? Is she young? What country is she from? So nail polish is something that really transcends women all over the world. It doesn't matter what you look like. So with every launch, I tell the story. Right, exactly. With every launch, I do tell the stories of women. So I highlight between 4 to 5 women, and in hopes to inspire you here. So look at this woman. She's 27 years old. She created a documentary for her, and hey, she has time to get her nails done and do all the fabulous things. So look at this woman. She's a mother of 4. They're all under the age of 9, and she's a career woman, and she owns her own business. What's your excuse? And she gets her nails done all the time. So that's really what it's about. I don't believe that nail polish should outshine the woman wearing it. It should really be an accessory and a conversation starter, and that's what makes it.
I think that's a good reason to be different. So, where can we find you? Where can we find more information on my personal favorite nail polish line and so forth, and about your future endeavors?
So, number one, DiosaNails.com. DreamCatcher.com. If you want to buy the polish and you're in New York, you can go to NoHo at the Yamira Boutique. It's a 12-line studio. Or you can go to Shushunet Boutique in Brooklyn. Or if you're on the West Coast, you can go to Hey Nice Nails, which is a nail art studio in Long Beach. So hopefully more places this year working here.
Right. So what about on the internet? Because that's easily accessible. Where can we find nails online?
Everything is at Diosa Nails on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything DIOSA Nails.
And that's diosanails.com.
Yes.
Diosanails.com.
Yes.
Because I'm going to do like, what do you call the pop-ups?
DiosaNails.com.
Diana, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, Diana.
Thank you. Get your nails done.
Can you hear us so loud? Stomping on the floor. Everybody, here we go. Everybody, here we go. Here we plan to say hello. Everybody, here we go. Ladies, let me see them shoes. 3 inches and lower, got to go. Can you hear us so? Can you hear us so? Models stomping on the floor. We gon' tip out of the moon.